Welcome to the Best Things Podcast. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Don't forget to follow us on all the socials at Best Things Pod as well. Now, here are your hosts, Craig and Aaron.
Hello, Internets. Welcome back to the Best Things Podcast. My name is Craig. Sitting next to me, as always, back in the saddle, back on the sticks again.
Ooh,
Aaron
Yeah.
Brooks.
it's good to be back. I know you guys have missed the studio.
Yeah, you've missed this.
Those of you
this
watching
place.
online,
Those of you listening are smooth voices.
I have had requests recently to get us back.
Yeah.
I mean that's good. People are missing us.
They are. They are indeed, and wish fulfilled. We are back in your eardrums and on your computer screens. Yeah, it's summertime. I mean, vacations and just busyness all the way around. It feels like the last month and a half, maybe closer to the last month, for me at least, ridiculously busy. Lots of stuff going on. I don't even know if we've talked about this yet, but like I have been redoing our deck.
Oh no.
So-
Yeah, we have not talked about that.
Any like hour free time I've had, I've been out there just kind of sweating ridiculous because it's July, June, July. It's summertime in Arkansas.
It's hot.
Ridiculously hot. And so, yeah, but busy time, but we're popping in when we can here this summer before the schedule eases up this fall. But today's a big one ish.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it.
Big one ish. So it's no secret if you're a fan of our show, chances are you're in the know when it comes to another little thing that's been coming out lately. That is politics. I'm kidding. We're not talking
What they wanted to hear. Could you imagine us doing I mean, I don't know. It could be the next great thing.
maybe because I am so anti-political anything, and that's your world, man.
It is. I've got a couple of friends that beg me to bring them on and do it. We don't do politics on our show. I'm a very political individual, but on our show, we don't do that. And I've got like 2 or 3 friends that are like, just bring us on. You just have a political episode.
Okay, maybe during the elections this fall we'll do an election special, and I will be the guy in the room that just goes, I don't know, Jed Bartlett. That's what I want for president.
You could do the what was his name? Tony
Soprano.
No. From not Pardon the Interruption. Which one am I thinking of? The guy where he would just randomly assign
Around the Horn.
Around the Horn.
Yeah,
his name was
yeah.
Tony as well, wasn't it?
Maybe. I don't know.
I've gone blank on it, but
That would be great.
I
would
don't
be
know
down
how
for
that show works. He just
Yeah.
randomly throws out points to people, so you can just randomly assign.
We need to do that. We need to write
silence
that down.
button on somebody.
That would be hilarious. Explain politics to a guy who doesn't care. That's our version of
That's the
election day
episode.
coverage. No, NCAA on EA Sports. The video game is back after 11 years being away. It has finally returned. It's all anyone who's a sports fan. If you know a guy, chances are he's been talking about this at some point. We have been waiting with bated breath for a while now, seeing the updates come out, seeing all these little tidbits come out, and just they would show trailers. It was the worst kept secret for a long time that it was coming back before EA ever actually announced it. And so we've been waiting patiently. The day finally came last week, and neither one of us yet have played it.
No, and we have not.
And we joke this is going to be the fastest podcast ever because as soon as we're done wrapping up here, we're heading out there to play. We have done something, though. You need to know. So if you're a fan of the show, or if you're not, and you just want to you heard about this and you want to give it a shot, there is something on this called Team Builder that you can do. And they've upped it a notch this go around where you can actually go online and create your entire team.
Yeah.
We have a gift for you. If you go to the EA Sports Team Builder area and you can download anything you want to, type in the word in the search bar podcasters. You're going to find we are in the game.
We are. We're in the game.
Best Things Podcast has a team in NCAA football 2025.
You can take the podcasters to the natty.
Yeah, you can. It's crazy. So next step is we're going to create players of Craig and Aaron, and we're going to be playing in the game. We will sit on the bench the entire time. So yeah, go if you're a fan of playing that game, go hop on there, download the team, have some fun with it. Our goal, we said this, our goal is to have more than 2 downloads.
That's right.
Because we know we're going to do it, and so we want to see if anybody else decides to download our team on EA Sports. But all of that being said, it got us to think, what should today's episode be about? We're going to do video games, but there was a problem.
There's a slight problem that we discovered. I've always wanted to know the answer to this question. How do you know when you're old?
Yeah, we found out the hard way.
Yeah.
we were going to do a whole episode on the best video games. And so I don't know about you, but my research process, anytime we get ready for a podcast episode, I Google best blank of all time.
Yep.
So I type in best video games of all time. Guess what? I didn't know. It was a 100 list. I might have known 5 of them. Because they were all just, I guess, recent ones. They're just really well done and new graphics. But I don't play video games.
No.
When's the last time you played a new video game?
2017.
Really?
2017. Last time that I purchased a video game.
Man, I got an Xbox a couple of years ago, a new one, because my brother wanted to play Madden with me. And so the family got me one as a Christmas gift. And so it gave me a trial of the Game Pass or whatever they had, where you can just kind of play any game you want to without paying for it. And I downloaded some games then and realized just that I'm just not a gamer anymore. Like, it's just not in my skill set. I tried a few different things. I always navigated back to old familiar video games, classic video games. So today's episode, because you clicked on this title, retro video games. And Aaron, would you please tell the people what classifies as a retro video game?
What I discovered online, reading from a couple of different sites, they classify anything 20 years or older as a retro.
Which means Halo and Modern Warfare. These are retro video games. I remember those coming. Those are not retro. Those are those are recent games.
The end of 2003 is when Call of Duty. I mean, I remember when Call of Duty first came out and how exciting that was.
It is wild.
And that's been over 20 years ago.
Gosh, man.
Unreal.
It flies. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to go back in time. I know, we see the analytics and the stuff. I think a lot of you listening to this pod are with us on this. So you're around,
old.
You're around our age. So I think, and if you're a young person in your 20s listening to this, then you know what? You get to do this in 10, 15 years, and you get to look back at the video games today thinking, oh, that just came out.
Mm-hmm.
So you got any other banter before we hop in?
Nope, we don't have time for that.
Yeah, we don't have time.
Before we can figure out the best thing, we have to talk about all the things. It's time for the thing about the things.
Alrighty. Well, we have no rhyme or reason. We're not following a list. We're just going to talk about some of our favorites. Do we want to categorize these in any way? Or do we just want to go at them?
Just go at them.
Just go at them.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's got to be the right move until it's not.
Let's get the big elephant out of the room.
Okay.
Early.
Yep.
We don't have the bell.
I was just looking for that.
Okay. Real talk.
This never works.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It's the orange one right there. I see it's already falling off the rails. Real talk. I used that bell for our church's VBS. They needed some prop. They needed a bell, so I had to borrow the bell for VBS. So it'll be back at some other point. So the first one, I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and grab it. Super Mario. Now there's 100 different iterations of Mario. Can we just lump them all into one? Or are you gonna make me choose?
I think I want you to choose at this moment.
Okay. I will choose. And I'm going to choose OG. Super Mario Brothers.
Super Mario Brothers.
Classic NES, Nintendo Entertainment System. I'm putting him at number 1 right now.
I definitely have some friends that would disagree with that.
Are they going to go Super Mario World?
Super Mario World, I think they would choose.
It's very, very close, but I'm leaning
Super
Bros.
Mario 64 is another one that I think's up there.
I never got into the 64.
Okay.
I had already switched PlayStation by then.
Yeah.
And so I never really experienced Super Mario 64. Lauren did.
I didn't
Lauren had a
own the 64, but I had multiple friends with 64s. And Super Mario 64 was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Now, I've been playing Super Mario 64 on my phone with that
Have
new emulator
Yeah.
that's come out recently. That's kind of a fun thing to do. If people out there don't own some of these consoles anymore, you know, if you have an iPhone and I don't
Who
know.
does? I mean, they're all retro now, you know.
Yeah.
So, but Mario is just massive. I mean, the Mario movie came out last year, the year before. He will always be the most. I mean, he's got to be. We could have just done video game characters, I guess, but he will always be probably the most famous video game character of all time, won't he?
Yep. I think so.
I can't think of anybody more.
Yeah. It's got to be.
You got Mario, Luigi, Yoshi was introduced in World, right? I don't remember Yoshi in the NES.
To the best of my knowledge, it was World.
You have, of course, you're trying to save Princess Peach. You got Bowser, the Koopas.
To me, I would still, when we play these, I still prefer the OG to Super Mario World. Erica, I think, likes Super Mario World best.
Really?
She likes that whole being able to go forward and backward thing.
Yeah.
You can only go one direction.
Yeah. I like the scrolling, man.
Yeah, it's old, but it doesn't feel
No.
old when you play it.
No, because I think that's just what it was. It wasn't like, you know, when you look back at older, speaking of NCAA football, like you look back at the last one we had in 2014, you look at it now and you're like, okay, they're trying to emulate real people. So it looks really pixelated and grainy and old, especially because they keep progressing. But Super Mario Brothers, that's just what it's been. That's what it was. That's what everybody remembers it being.
Yes.
So it doesn't feel like it's aged. It just is frozen in time.
No, and you hit that start button and you get the Mario music going. I mean, it's
very the hitting the coins, ka-ching, cha-ching, you know, sliding up the flag, down the flagpole. Everything's great.
We cannot, according to the parameters that we set, we can't classify NCAA football 14 as retro, but for all intents and purposes, it is retro.
Yeah, I mean, you can call
this
it NCAA. You know, they made it before then,
right?
You know, so
I just feel like that's the iteration. I was still holding on to my 14 version.
Oh yeah, it's somewhere here.
It's been a couple of years since I've played it, but I held on to it because I never knew if there was going to be another college football video game or not. And it was the best iteration of college football. I think 14 when they left it off, it was really good. I'm trying. What is our ultimate decision here? We're going with what is the best.
This is the best retro video game. What's out there?
Okay. I'm going to take MVP Baseball 2005.
Okay. That's just inside the criteria. I don't think we have to limit it to, you know, their criteria.
Right.
We just let's just be honest. We're going to talk about video games. They just happen to mostly be retro because we're old.
This is the game that I probably have played more hours than any other video game.
Really?
This is what me and a couple buddies lived on. Was MVP Baseball. We started with the 04 version.
Yeah.
05 was slightly better, so that's why I'm going to put the 5. Go ahead and put 2005 there. But just the MVP Baseball franchise, it was so good.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know what happened, but it was, I don't remember if EA just quit making it, but 2K ended up kind of coming onto the scene and taking over, and I didn't like the 2K versions.
Is 2K they do the show, or is it just MLB?
No, that's just MLB The Show. That's the one that's out there now. I don't think anybody else does a baseball
Maybe not.
game. That one was PlayStation for the longest, and now it's available on both platforms.
What's your favorite console? Because I mean, you've got a lot of different iterations. You go all the way. For me, I went all the way back to the NES. I remember getting that vividly as a kid for Christmas.
I had my brother and sister's NES that was a hand-me-down. But my favorite that I've ever had, I think, trying to decide if I'm going OG Xbox or 360.
I don't know when it happened. I mean, I know when it happened, but I don't know why it happened. That I guess when Xbox came on the scene, they made such a big splash.
Right.
That I guess that's when because I was a PlayStation guy. Like I had the PlayStation, I had the PlayStation 2. I don't know if I had a PlayStation 3, but when Xbox came out, like, we got to have an Xbox. But man, the OG PlayStation might be one of my favorite consoles.
I didn't own the PS1. My brother did, and I played on his quite a bit. It was really good. I probably spent more time because we had a GameCube is what we had at that time. So I've spent a lot of time playing the GameCube. But I remember when I got my first Xbox, and then I remember when I got the 360, and I loved those. I have since become a PlayStation guy though.
Yeah.
And I can't stand the Xbox. They just changed things in the last several years, and I don't like it. I don't own a PS5 yet. I've got to get a PS5.
Yeah.
I can't play NCAA 25 without
biggest gripe about the thing. Like, I mean, I guess I get it. You've got all these advanced features in there,
platform,
but it is so frustrating. There's nothing backwards compatible about it. So where do you want MVP baseball at?
I don't think you're going to vote for it. I assume you weren't a big player.
I don't remember it. I may have played it, but I don't remember it.
I could sit down right now, I think, and pick it up and have an absolute blast playing.
I remember a great baseball game back then. It may be the same one, but I don't know that for certain.
My heart wants it to be number one.
Really?
Because I loved it that much. I don't think I can put it number one. Let's put it number 3.
Okay.
But in my list of greatest video games of all time, it definitely is up there.
Okay. I am not going to hit the bell yet. Are we just including console games? Or are we including computer games in this too? Because I wrote down some computer games too.
I think that those are fair game.
Okay. One I want to mention, and I don't know if I want to put it on the list yet. SimCity.
Oh,
I've always loved SimCity. It's one of my favorite. And now I saw on console, they've got something called City Skylines that's very similar to SimCity.
Yeah.
And I've been tempted to dabble in that because that's the kind of video game I think I can get into on a console outside of a sports game. Because I mean, I could go through 1 through 8 here and list sports games.
Yes.
Sports games and driving games are just my jam. That's what I lean toward.
That's what I spent most of my gaming career doing is sports games. Absolutely. I'm trying to get this one to open up. What was the name of the one that you just mentioned?
City Skylines, I think?
City Skylines 2 just came out in the last few months.
That's what I was going to wait on because I thought about buying the other one. I was like, well, I'll just wait after that one's coming out.
There's a channel that I follow on YouTube called City Planner Plays. It's one of my favorite YouTube channels to follow, and all he does is play City Skylines.
Oh, really?
And he is a city planner that lives in Wisconsin, and I enjoy watching him just because he's an actual city planner, and so as he's playing, he's laying out cities the way that they're supposed to be designed. Really? He's following all the rules and regulations and stuff, and he's a lot of fun.
That is interesting. I've never thought about a city planner playing one of those games.
Right?
I want to know how well their city is doing. I want to see, do you have good income? What's your economy like? What's your population like? If you could have your ideal scenario within the guidelines, how is it working? How's it working?
I was going to try to pull it up. I have City Skylines here on my Mac.
Oh, do you?
As a computer game, but I have to sign into Steam and I can't remember I don't play it very often. But it's a really great game. I've got several buddies who do play City Skylines 2 since it's come out. So
it seems like it's just a more in-depth version of SimCity.
It is.
It's got a lot more customization and stuff like that, too.
Yeah, and this guy on YouTube, City Planner Plays, he does a whole lot of sort of sim games like that that he tests and tries out. So his channel's got just all full of stuff like that. And City Skylines franchise is definitely the best, it appears, of all the of those kind of sim games.
The sim brand, because I think EA owns it now. They took over for a while. Like, they were everywhere.
So much SimCity stuff.
You've got The Sims that's also part of that. The only reason I liked playing The Sims was so I could design the buildings. I didn't care about the actual gameplay. I just wanted to build stuff. Which that's my wife plays it, and that's primarily the reason she plays it too, is to decorate and do stuff like that.
Shout out to a game, not going to take it, but to the computer, Minesweeper.
Minesweeper, OG.
It was one of the first games I remember playing.
For the longest time, did not know what I was doing.
No, neither did I.
Nobody knows what they're doing when they play Minesweeper.
No.
There's no instructions to it. It was on every PC in the 90s, and nobody knew what to do. Finally, when as an adult, I was like, I gotta find. How do you play? I looked on YouTube and I was like, oh,
it makes sense.
It makes sense
when you read it. It does. But no, as a kid, I had no clue what I was doing.
You were just blindly clicking things. I would try to find the bombs at different points. Like, is there one here? No, it's some dumb number. No, I'm going to go to the next thing.
Do you remember another one on computer? There was like a ski slope game.
Yes. Oh my gosh. You just unlocked a memory.
Ski slope.
Yeah.
Then when you got to, what was it? It was probably XP maybe. The Space Arcade.
I don't remember that one. I think I had gone Mac by that point.
There was a really great space pinball game or something that was on.
Oh, wait, pinball. I do remember pinball. Okay.
That's the one that I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of those default games which I remember when I switched to Mac, I was like, oh, they don't have any games.
They don't have games. No, they didn't.
They had chess. Mac had chess. That was it.
I forgot that.
They didn't even have solitaire. It was just
I don't think
chess.
they include that anymore, do they?
I don't think they do. I don't know. Hold on. This is a pretty new computer. Let me look and see.
Oh, it's there.
Is it really?
Chess.
Where is it? Oh, it is. Yeah. Chess still on here. Wow. I mean, now you've got app stores. You can download whatever
you can download. Yeah. Apple's trying to lean into the gaming. But
that's true.
It felt, Mac was trying to be smarter. They went with chess, a little higher end game than Minesweeper. And
were you a big computer gamer? Did you just dive into the video games on computers?
That's what I played more than anything.
I never really did
as a kid.
I did, like I said, I did SimCity. I did Oregon Trail.
Yep, I remember Oregon Trail.
Which Apple brought it back for their arcade, it was very good. It was a good update for it. And then I did Flight Simulator.
See, I loved Microsoft Flight Simulator. Yeah, now I guess you can get it for Xbox.
You can get it for Xbox, which feels like it might be more now. I guess you could connect the controller to your computer now, but
one that let's see, I feel like we had a joystick or something that I used with Flight Simulator that made it easy. One that I loved on a computer as a kid, I don't even remember what the name of it was, but it was like an Army Man game, and they were plastic Army Men, and you were doing missions and stuff with them, and they had flamethrowers and they could melt. It was a lot of fun.
Wow.
Can't think of the name of it.
You said Army and computer, and it reminded me, there was a game that we used to love called, I think it was Beachhead.
Okay.
And my dad loved it too. And that's what it was. It was a game. It was just like a Normandy situation where they're just on the beach, and you're just trying to keep people, from invading your land. That used to be a great game. So
Trying to remember. Yeah, here's one. I remember getting this one for computer after you said that. Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six.
Oh, Rainbow Six.
I had that one.
I know my brother and then played
PC.
that on Xbox too at one point.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, computer games, were a lot. I remember as a kid, a young kid, there was a Crayola had a game for computer,
Yes, they did.
and me and my brother cracked up. Okay, because I mean, we would have fun playing the actual game, but as we got a little older and we would go back and play it and stuff, when you would hover over or select different colors, it would say the name of the color. So it'd have like orange, and they have all those different color names.
Right.
The two that cracked us up the most, we go rose. It was all that same inflection every time, and for some reason, rose was like that, and cyan. Everything else was just normal, like blue, whatever. But rose and cyan had a little extra oomph to them.
They were excited about those colors.
It cracked us up.
The first, well, no, it wasn't. I was going to say the first iteration of Madden that I played was computer, but it was Game Boy. I remember getting
Game Boys.
Madden.
Loved Game
It
Boys.
was probably like Madden 99 or
Probably,
2000.
yeah.
I had it for Game Boy. And then I switched over to PC and I played 02, 03, 04, 05 all on PC. It was 06 before I ever had
Really?
a Madden game on console.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let's talk. I'm going to take Madden.
Okay.
I'm going to take Madden.
It's worthy of a top 8 spot.
I'm going to put it at 3 right now. Shout out to John Madden. Rest in peace. Madden really did a service to sports games. When it came along, like it changed a lot of different stuff. It feels like what, NCAA is doing right now.
Yep.
Kind of, it was a cultural thing. It brought some relevance to the industry in that area. And it's still going strong. I think what we're going to see is some of the stuff that they're bringing to NCAA is going to be applied to Madden.
Probably so.
Madden's gotten a little bit stale. I mean, there's at a certain point, there's just so much you can do to these kind of games. And so
I know and I haven't played Madden in several years, but I know the last time I played Madden, it was to the point either I was getting older or the games were getting too advanced. Or it was a combination
Harder
of
to
both
control.
of those. I'm like, there was like a 2-hour course you had to take to just know what controls. I'm
That's
like,
true.
I cannot contort my fingers to do
Yeah.
all of these things at one. How are 12-year-old kids out here?
come
and I'm
on,
like,
dude, know it now. Like they don't even think about that stuff.
No.
They just do it.
why can't I? I mean,
We used to.
We're tech people.
We used to do that.
Why can't we?
Video games have passed us by. It's a muscle memory. If you don't do it, it's just.
I
it's
guess.
gone. I do remember that. Yeah, I tried. The last version I downloaded was 20 or 21. I don't remember. Just because like, I want the new version, and I hadn't had one in a while. That's when I got the Xbox, and so. But yeah, in order to catch a ball, like you could either hit that button to catch or this button to one hand catch, or if you want to catch and spin,
You do combo moves.
yeah, like just to throw a ball too. Like you got to hit certain buttons to
Yeah.
get certain. It's just what happened to just hit the button of the receiver.
That's why I am a little concerned about this new revamped
Yeah.
passing in college football. I have seen from watching YouTube, though, that you have in the settings, you can go change it to classic.
Okay.
And a couple of my buddies have already changed theirs to classic.
Yeah.
They're like, it was just too much.
Yeah.
It's probably cool and everything, but we just want to hit the button and throw the ball.
Right, yeah.
I don't want this meter to have to try to throw the ball. And
Oh my god!
so that's the concern. I was hoping they would have like a dumbed down version for the millennials who grew up with NCAA football, but we're not Gen Z and Gen A.
Easy. It's called easy mode.
Freshman.
What else you got?
The game called Driver.
Yes. Oh, I didn't think you knew about Driver. I was going to save it.
That is probably my favorite
Yes.
driving game.
100%.
I remember playing it. Was it PS or PS2 when it came out?
I want to say PlayStation.
That's what I was thinking as well.
I think Driver 2 was on PS2. Driver 3 was on PS2.
I played first though on PC.
Really?
That's what I had it on, and it took me forever because I was so used to using my controls
Oh,
on
yeah.
the keyboard to
Can
try
you
to
get it anywhere now? I tried downloading on the emulator, and they didn't have PlayStation.
Yeah, they don't have
games yet.
PlayStation yet. No, I found Driver for like Game Boy on there and stuff.
Really?
It's really janky.
Yeah.
But I'm waiting for Driver for PlayStation because supposedly they're working on an emulator
Right.
for it. And when that happens,
Oh, man.
I mean, I'm going to be sunk back into that storyline.
Absolutely.
But I love the cheat codes.
Vasquez.
Yes.
Vasquez was the guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just hours and hours. And then Driver 2 was really good.
It was also really good. Driver 3 was good. None of it matched Driver 1, though.
No.
That's the first game I remember getting immersed in a storyline.
Yeah.
Like, you had all these other games. Yeah, they had plots, Mario, Zelda, all that kind of
Right.
stuff. But that one I was like, I want to know what happens. Like,
Yeah.
it was so immersive.
Yeah. I don't know, what was it? It was probably somewhere between 2010 and 14. They came out with Driver San Francisco. And I think it was Xbox only because I had that game because I missed it so much. And it was okay.
Didn't have the magic.
But it just didn't have that magic. But I played it.
Yeah.
What I want is to be able to play the original
Right.
Driver
Yeah,
once
because
again.
it's a driving game. At the end of the day, it's just like a Grand Theft Auto, or it's got that. You can hop out of the cars and hop into another one. You're chased by the police, all that kind of stuff. But that storyline,
Yeah.
and you didn't have to be some big gamer to be immersed in the
No.
storyline. You know,
No.
where do you want it? It better be high.
I think number 2.
Okay. Oof, man, that's a matchup right there, right off the bat.
Oh, wow. It is.
I am, and you're gonna see this. I don't know if you're this way, but I am not a first person gamer kind of person. I get motion sickness. I have bad motion sickness, so I can only play. I might mention Halo on here at some point. Maybe I'll add it here, but like I can only play it for so long before I'm
Right.
like, I got to take a break because it just messes with me. But still, it's just I get people laugh at me, especially the younger generations when I'm talking, because I was a youth pastor for a long time, so I would talk to students about this and they would just laugh. But like, you're in a first person game. If you're trying to unlock something, or if you can't go anywhere without figuring something out in a first person, if I can't figure it out soon, I'm like, I just can't do it. Like my body freaks out on me. I get the cold sweats and I want to throw something. And so I just give up. I just can't do it. So games like a Driver, Madden, these are third person. I can see the human being and I don't have to be confined to their POV. It helps me a lot. Oh man, let's see. I'm really thinking about moving that matchup. I want to mention 2.
Okay.
I don't know that I want to take, because I've only got 2 spots left, and I've got a lot of games listed here. So I'm just going to mention some, and maybe you'll take them or maybe not. Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
I remember that.
I remember Tony Hawk Pro Skater, and there was a snowboarding game. I do not remember the name of it, but it was on PS1.
Yes. I played that one so much.
I
love
so
that.
much. I wish I could remember the name of it.
Yeah,
but,
that's what I was thinking of earlier, and I don't even know what to look for.
oh my gosh, I loved both of those games so much. And I'm not a skateboarder at all, but for some reason, and I mean, Tony Hawk took the world by storm with that game, but the soundtrack was incredible. But yeah, doing the flips and doing all the moves, and I don't know if it was in Pro Skater 1 or later on where you could build your own skate park too. So kind of like Team Builder in EA, you could create your own obstacles and things that you could do tricks off of, and that was always a lot of fun too. So Tony Hawk Pro Skater, loved it. The snowboarding game, whatever it was called, I want to say it was like, I don't know, it wasn't Cool Runnings, but it was something like that.
Cool Borders.
Cool Borders, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Loved that game too.
I'm seeing a lot of people here on Reddit saying Cool Borders 2 was the one that everybody,
Yeah.
and that's ringing a bell for
That
me.
absolutely is ringing a bell. What about arcade games?
Okay.
I don't know if you have any on your list, but speaking of going back and talking about car games, Cruisin' USA.
I have been playing Cruisin' USA for the N64 on the emulator.
Have you?
Yeah. I remember. I loved Cruisin' USA.
I remember it fondly at Mazio's, because our Mazio's here in town.
They had
a Cruisin' USA.
Oh, I forgot that.
And I remember as a teenager, you go out after church on a Sunday
Yeah.
night, go have pizza, and man, we would just sit there and play that game For I mean, as long as our parents would let us, we'd play that game.
Do they still have arcade games in there?
I don't know. I hadn't been to Mazio's in
I haven't either.
15 years probably.
I haven't either.
Cruising USA was great. Time Crisis was a great arcade game. It's like a shooter game.
Okay. Yep.
I like that one a lot. Of course, you've got the classics. Pac-Man. You can't talk about video games without talking about Pac-Man.
It's yeah.
You're tempted?
I am tempted because it's so fun.
You play it for hours. And Mrs. Pac-Man,
Not as
which
big of a
is
fan.
so much the same. It's the same game. It's the same game. What's the difference between Pac-Man and Mrs. Pac-Man?
I don't remember.
Exactly.
There's a difference. I just don't remember what it was.
I don't remember a difference. You gonna hit it? You gonna save it?
Yeah, I'm letting that one float by. When you think of retro games, though, Pac-Man is right there.
It is. What else you got then?
I'm going to take Mario Kart.
Man. Yeah. See, this is the reason I wanted to know if all Mario is included.
Yeah, right. I want Mario Kart. And I don't know. Like Super Mario Kart that was on the SNES, I guess is when it first came out. It was okay.
Yeah.
Mario Kart 64,
Yeah.
it took it to a different level.
That's the one. That's the 164 game I remember playing a lot.
And that's probably the 64 game that I've played the most.
Yeah.
But just as a Mario Kart as a franchise is just a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. And they've continued to make it. I was playing it in Florida when we were there a couple of months ago. They had it on Switch. Their kids were playing it. So, I jumped in and, man, it's just so fun.
It's still fun, yeah. And there's been different versions. Crash Bandicoot had a racing game. Sonic's had one. There's a whole bunch of different variations, but that was the one that started it all.
I want Mario Kart. What have I got open? I've got my first spot and my
1 and 4.
I'm going to put it 4 right now, I think.
Okay. That's a tough matchup as well. I
don't know what
I might switch that in MVP baseball, but that's just me.
Let's do that.
Okay.
Because it's higher than 4.
Yeah, 4 feels very, very low.
It's probably higher than 3. I'm just having trouble going all the way to 1 with it, but it's
right.
It's capable of that.
That's true. It very well could. One that I loved, and I'm very tempted to add it here. I'm going to temporarily add it at my number 4 hole, and that is Donkey Kong Country.
Oh yeah, I was just sitting here thinking about the Donkey Kong games.
I loved the OG Donkey Kong was fine.
Meh.
Donkey Kong Country was a blast. Like, it was so much fun. You had Diddy Kong. It was very much like a Mario. It was a scrolling game.
Yep.
But it's much more immersive. There's a lot of stuff going on. There's a storyline. It was so, of course, was this a Super Nintendo?
I think so.
I think this is Super Nintendo, so the graphics were better.
Donkey Kong 64, I think, went to the next level.
Really?
I love Donkey Kong 64.
Lauren loves Donkey Kong 64 too, and it's harder to find, but I need to find it on the emulator.
It's on the emulator because I played it.
I think I may have downloaded it, and we just hadn't played it yet. But Donkey Kong Country was just great. It was just fantastic. You're throwing the barrels. You still have the barrel part of that game, but it's no longer I'm holding the. Donkey Kong becomes a hero.
Yes.
He's no longer the villain. He's a hero.
Yeah. They flipped the script.
Yeah, and so you're going for bananas, and you're doing all kinds of stuff. You have Grandpa, the grandpa. I don't know what was his name. Krusty Kong.
Is that right?
Krusty Kong.
Yeah.
The grandpa. I think. You had Diddy there was no Donkey Kong Jr. It was Diddy Kong. And then you had, I think it was Krusty Kong. I know there was a Krusty Kong, and I can't remember if that's the grandpa or not.
Cranky Kong.
Cranky Kong.
That's
not
it.
Krusty.
Yeah.
Cranky Kong.
Yeah, with the beard.
Yeah. So that one was a lot of fun. I like that as well. So I'm going to go ahead and add it at 4 for now. That means I have one spot left, and I have a huge list here.
We have to give a shout out at least to things like Tecmo Bowl,
Yeah. Love Tecmo Bowl.
Punch Out.
Mm-hmm.
I could play. I still play Punch Out from time to time. Legend of Zelda.
Yeah, I had that as my honorable mention because I never was a Zelda person. I never got into it as much as I did some of the others.
Neither did I. I always enjoyed watching some other people play it because they made it seem more fun than what I had playing.
Right.
It. But it's definitely, like, for hardcore gamers, I think Zelda would probably be in their list.
Yeah.
We're probably being yelled at by some people for not putting.
Absolutely. That and Final Fantasy.
Yeah, that's another one.
That's another one that's always on these lists.
Tetris.
A huge. I mean,
I feel like this should be.
I feel like it should be there.
I'm going to have to take MVP baseball off. Is the thing.
It's just getting lower and lower.
Because for me, I love it.
Tetris.
No, I love MVP baseball. I just don't know how many other people would have it in their
I'm
list.
gonna look and see.
Super Mario Brothers 3. In fact, I think that's Erica's favorite of the series. Super Mario Brothers 3.
I typed in MVP, and that's the first thing that popped up.
It is so popular. I mean, everybody knows MVP Baseball 05.
Oh yeah, I know this game. Yeah, I love this game.
This is an amazing game.
This is the baseball game I was thinking of.
I can't take this out of the list.
Yeah, this is great.
For me, with sports,
Yeah, I remember playing this a lot.
MVP Baseball 05 and NCAA football were both my favorites.
Yeah.
And then it was NBA Live. I was never a 2K guy. I liked NBA Live back in the day.
NBA Jam.
That was one that I had that I was going to
NBA
mention.
Jam was fantastic.
NBA Jam that's the first basketball game that I ever played.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
Oh my gosh, man, I don't know. This is hard.
And then, see, there's...
you look at these screenshots, it just takes you back.
Oh, I remember that. When the ball would catch fire.
Catch fire, yes. He's on fire.
This was such a great game.
I can hear the music.
Yes.
You always played with the Bulls,
You
too.
played with the Bulls. You got to be MJ.
And I remember it was always Bulls, Hornets.
Yeah.
I always loved it. Was either the Bulls or the Hornets. Those are the two teams I played with because I remember playing Del Curry.
Okay.
And I was like, he was a great shooter.
Right.
And so I remember that was my advantage if I played the Hornets. If anybody ever picked the Bulls before me, I would pick the Hornets. Yeah.
I'm so close to wanting, like, we need a sports bracket on its own.
I guess, yeah.
That's each of these, because you could
I tell you
fill
what,
it out.
we'll do this episode and then we'll do an exclusive sports bracket for TikTok.
We should.
Yeah.
Because, like, there's a Tiger Woods game that I just played the heck out of.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What else was I going to mention? Oh, Dr. Mario. That's another one that we spent a lot of time
I
playing.
never played Dr. Mario.
It's basically Tetris.
Really?
It's Tetris is what it is. But it was a lot of fun. Duck Hunt.
Oh, yes. Dude, Duck Hunt.
And that's one that you cannot replicate because you had to
can't.
have the
Yeah.
you had to have the glass
You
TV
did.
screen to make the thing
was
work.
magic.
Yes.
It was magic how they
Yes.
did that.
And when that stupid dog would pop up and laugh at you, it was. I love Duck Hunt.
Love it. Let's see here. Let me keep going backwards here. Of course, we forgot to mention a couple big ones when it came to arcade games. Galaga,
Yes.
Space Invaders,
Space Invaders.
Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat. I was about to say that one.
I loved Mortal Kombat. I remember I didn't have a lot of sleepovers. That was never my jam. But I had a couple friends that we would sleep over at each other's house. And I remember vividly one night, because we weren't really supposed to play Mortal Kombat.
Right.
But we did it anyway. I remember we got so into it, we didn't even try to do the moves anymore. It was just smashing buttons. It was just literally just smashing, trying to get anything you could.
So I played this game on Switch with our friends from Florida, and they had a game called like Super Smash Brothers.
Super Smash Brothers, yes.
I have no idea what we were doing. I was just pressing buttons hoping that something worked.
Right.
Like it felt like there was no rhyme or reason to this game. And that's
very
exactly what it
similar
reminded
thing.
me of.
Man,
Sonic the Hedgehog. I don't know if we mentioned that one already.
we
or not.
haven't mentioned Sonic yet. Sonic was big. I mean, it's the more older I get and the more I look back, Sonic was Mario. It was Sega's version of Mario.
Yep, that's what it
Because
was.
he's
Sonic was always popular.
very popular, a lot of fun.
He wasn't Mario.
He wasn't Mario.
And Sega wasn't as popular.
No.
I feel like Sonic was more popular than Sega was.
That's true. Yeah, you're right. I had a Sega, the handheld, whatever it was called. It wasn't a Genesis.
What was that?
I don't remember what it was called, but it was. That's the only Sega thing I had. I never had a full console, but I had the handheld thing, and I would play Sonic on that. Some other games I would play. It was a big black, just kind of.
Did you have a Game Boy?
I had. Oh yeah, I had mini game. My mom still has probably
Black
some
and white
mini games.
one, a Game Boy Color,
Most of them
Advance.
were black and white.
Yeah.
Color came out, and then I got old. And
I never had the Advance. I
never
don't
had the
think.
Advance.
I had the OG Game Boy, and then I had the Game Boy Color.
Yeah.
And I thought that was the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, I remember when they started backlighting it. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can see it at night.
I remember I had one, and I had this thing that attached to mine that had a light, and it had a mirror. It had a magnifying glass, so it would make the screen look bigger.
All these
and it was
different
like,
things.
whoa!
Oh my gosh.
This one's now backlit.
Yeah. We've both got pretty high spots, and I feel like we probably mentioned something because I'm looking here. You could talk about GoldenEye.
Okay, that was one I was going to mention. I liked GoldenEye
That
on
was a
64.
great one. There are two I'm tempted to put in either one of them in my 2 spot. I want to include one of these, but I don't know. I might end up dropping Donkey Kong for one of these. I'm going to go ahead and mention them both. Maybe you take one. That would make me feel better. I don't know where you would put it. We're both pretty full. Star Fox. Do you remember Star Fox?
I do remember Star Fox.
Man, I spent so many hours playing Star Fox. I love flying games. One that won't make this list. It's too new. But Ace Combat was a great fighting.
Yeah.
Flying. They would dogfight, jets and stuff like that. I love that game. I love flying. I don't know, for some reason, I've always loved flying games.
Yep.
Star Fox kind of scratched that itch. It was I think it was Super Nintendo. That's one of the first things I downloaded on that emulator was that game because it was very geometrical, very simple, but you're just flying through these obstacles and you're trying to take out the bad guys. Another one that I think I might put ahead of that was Spy Hunter.
I don't remember Spy Hunter.
Spy Hunter, I'm going to pull it up here. Spy Hunter is not Spry Hunter. Google. Let's see if you remember this game, pulling it up. Of course, it was old G. Spy Hunter 2 was the one I probably played more. But Spy Hunter, the original, was like an arcade game. I think they had it in
that
arcade
looks
games.
kind of familiar.
Spy Hunter 2 had a lot more. It was basically like a 007 situation where you had, your car could trick out with all different kinds of stuff, and you were a spy on a mission, and you did all that kind of stuff. But so I'm tempted to move one of them into the 4 spot. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm going to put Spy Hunter at 4, and I'm going to move Donkey Kong up to. No. I'm going to move Madden to 2. I'm going to move everything up 1. You talk and say words now.
I just missed everything she said as I was trying to find a game. What did you just say that you're doing? You're moving.
Just moving everything up and putting Spy Hunter in at 4.
Yeah, and at 4. Okay. I don't know what I need to do here because I've got to move something to number 1 because there's not really like a number 1 left out there. Something's got to go up. So I think I have to move. I think I have to move Driver to 1. It's worthy of that. And what do I have second?
You had Driver.
Then I need to move Mario Kart to 2.
Okay. You going to move everything up one also?
Let me tell you about a game that I had an absolute blast playing. First of all, I remember one of the first games I played on the original PlayStation my brother had was like NASCAR 97, and he had the steering wheel setup that went with it. Yeah. And the I think it had gas and brake pedal and stuff, so it was a lot of fun to take and play. But then in 1999, I got the computer game NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series Racing.
Okay.
And I played hours and hours and hours.
This is going to go at 3
of NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series Racing. And I can still just picture, I think about that game so often. I loved racing those trucks. And I'm so tempted to take this and to put it on my list. That makes absolutely no sense.
No, it doesn't.
Another game I loved was for the N64. It was Star Wars Rogue Squadron. It was a flying game. And that was a lot of... Did you ever play that one?
No, I never played that one.
So you don't care about either of these games.
Don't.
You don't care about either of these games.
See, in my mind, I'm like, we're leaving out Tetris and Pac-Man and Sonic and all these games.
Best,
That's what I'm thinking. And I'm actually going to take off Spy Hunter, and I'm going to add Tetris.
Okay. I want to put... Go ahead. I'm going to put Pac-Man at 3 on my list because I have played that game a lot. And I think that's the right thing to do.
Yeah. That feels the longer I was like, why are we searching? Why are we searching and falling back on some of those games when there are classics here? Excuse me. I could even put, I mean, I'm
like Oregon Trail.
Right. Yeah.
Could go on there. I played that a lot. And that is retro. When you think of retro, that one belongs there. But I'm happy with Pac-Man.
Yeah, you have Driver, Mario Kart, MVP, or in order, Pac-Man and MVP Baseball.
That's what I want to go with because MVP Baseball has to be on that list for me.
I've got Super Mario, Madden, Donkey Kong, and Tetris. And I feel good about that. I do want to give a shout out to Crash Bandicoot. I mean, we didn't talk a lot about him. I love Crash Bandicoot. That was another one of those OG PlayStation games that were lots of fun. Ready to bracket it out now?
Let's do it.
Yeah, I got to get back to that page. Hold on.
If you want to be the best, you have to beat the rest. This is the Best Things Bracket.
All right. We have 8 classic video games. We have to decide which one of these is the best classic retro video game of all time. Now, before you come after us in the comments section on TikTok or whatever, these are our opinions. We picked our favorite 4 each, and these are retro games only. And so let's get into the bracket and see where we land. First matchup, Driver versus Tetris. 3, 2, 1. Driver. Next up, Mario Kart versus Donkey Kong Country. 3, 2, 1.
Mario Kart.
Next up, Super Mario Brothers versus MVP Baseball. 3, 2, 1. Super
MVP
Mario
Baseball.
I knew you were going to go there. Come on. Really? More than Super Mario? You're going to take MVP Baseball over Mario?
There's so many Mario games.
This is the original.
There's
OG.
only this one MVP Baseball game.
There was technically more than one.
Okay, but it was just one baseball. There's so many other Marios that we could play and have fun with that we're not going to ever miss it. If that one's not there, who cares?
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Which Mario game are we talking about again?
Super Mario Bros.
The original one.
The OG.
I mean, we could play Super Mario World.
You know how much we're going to get roasted in the comments if we don't advance Super Mario Brothers right now? We are going to get flamed.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, 1 to 10. Super Mario Brothers. 3, 2, 1, 9.
10.
MVP baseball. 3, 2, 1,
10.
2.
What?
I'm going to give it a 7, though.
They're both perfect games. They both earn a perfect score.
Mario advances. So you could have just said you're going to leave it up to me. I mean, why did we go through the whole cat and mouse game here? Next up, Madden versus Pac-Man. 3, 2, 1, Madden. Round 2, Driver versus Mario Kart. 2 driving games. 3, 2, 1, Driver. We're probably going to get roasted in the comments for that, but at least we agree about it. Mario versus Madden. Super Mario Brothers versus Madden. 3, 2, 1, Madden.
Mario.
How did we flip-flop? How did we get here? Mario 1 to 10. 3, 2, 1, 9. Madden 3, 2, 1, 9.
8.
Okay. So Mario advances. All right, we have Driver versus Super Mario Brothers. 3, 2.
We have what? Mario versus
Yes.
Super Mario Brothers?
Yes. No, I said Driver versus Super
okay.
Mario Brothers. Driver versus Mario. I don't know. Hold on. Do you have an answer?
I have an answer.
Do you have an answer already?
I have an answer. I have a solid answer.
Oh, boy. 3, 2, 1.
Driver.
Oh, my gosh. We're going to get so... I mean, let me know. There's people watching this who have never even heard of Driver, and they're screaming at their phone right now. How dare you? But we dare. Driver. It's such a good game, and there are people that have no idea because you're too young, and you need to, as soon as that emulator is available on your phone to play PlayStation games, you need to go find... If you've got a PlayStation... Go hunt that game down somewhere because it's fantastic. All right, one more thing to do.
It may be the best thing today, but is it the best thing of all time? It's time for the best thing battle.
We're going to make quick work of this. Thankfully, we have a board here that keeps everything updated. We don't have to rely on our memory from 2 months ago when we recorded this episode. But we have to decide what's better, Driver or Brisket. 3, 2, 1. Brisket. Not even close.
No.
Congratulations. Brisket, a 3-time champion. It's only got to win twice more, and I think it's going to get there.
Yeah.
I am the most confident I've probably ever been in a returning champion to make it all the way. Yeah, there's no doubt. No doubt at all. Okay, Aaron, you have anything else?
No, except to download our podcaster team builder.
Yeah, go on. We'll work. Can you link to it?
I don't know.
We're going to try to link to it. So if we can link to it, we're going to link it in our description.
Search podcasters.
Yeah, just search podcasters. Find Best Things Podcasters. So the name of our team is Best Things. The nickname is Podcasters. We did the whole uniforms, everything. So go play as the Best Things and tag us if you do.
Soundwave Stadium.
Record it, tag us in it on social media because we want to see. This is a lot of fun. So, okay, that's it. We're gonna go play the game now. For the Best Things, I am Craig.
I'm Aaron.
We will talk at you at some point. Take it easy, everybody. Bye bye.
Thanks for listening to the Best Things Podcast. If you liked today's episode, subscribe and leave us a review wherever you're listening now. And remember, connect with us on the socials at Best Things Pod, and you may hear your take on an upcoming episode.